Hello everyone, Francis Walsh here again with thedigitalmerchant.com, and today we're going to be discussing two of the most popular AI-powered SOP documentation tools. Now obviously there's been an explosion in the number of AI-powered tools available for pretty much every kind of workflow there is out there at the moment. I think the jury is still out on how much value they will deliver overall. I think a lot of them are promising to deliver value that maybe it's not going to pan out like that as time passes. But I do think that SOP documentation is one of those areas in which AI has a huge amount to offer. You know, businesses have been spending a lot of time documenting SOPs manually over the years. And obviously, if you do this yourself, you'll know how much of a drain it can be on your time and resources. So if this is a position that you're in, it's definitely worth your while looking at an AI solution. Now, the two we're going to be looking at today are called Guidde and Whale. They're two of the leading providers in this area, but they do take quite a different approach to the process of SOP documentation and how they leverage AI to get it done. So we'll be examining all this today in this video and having a look at the various factors that will determine whether one or other of these tools might make a good investment for you and for your business. So let's get into it. So first off, we're going to look at Guidde. Now how Guidde works is, and you can see it right here on the home screen, it basically works on the basis of a browser extension. So you install the program, install your browser extension, and then once you activate the extension, it will record you doing your workflows and make tutorials out of those recordings. So essentially all you have to do is go on your browser, execute your workflow as you normally would, and then the AI will use that recording to generate a tutorial from scratch. Typically these are video tutorials. There are text-based tutorials as well for for instances in which text maybe makes more sense. But the video tutorials are Guidde's kind of flagship offering, I suppose, and they're really, really impressive. And particularly given the level of, effort required on your part, I suppose, the output is incredibly impressive. And even in at the editing stage where like you have your video and you want to tidy it up, you can clip it, you can add captions, you can add branded features and logos and all that kind of thing. You can do that pretty easily using the AI editor. And so as we'll see, Guidde really is putting out a fantastic product at quite a reasonable price point, and I think it's delivering a lot of value for businesses. So Whale. Whale is similar to Guidde in that it uses AI to record your workflows and to generate tutorials on that basis. The key difference is that you're not getting videos with Whale, so it's just going to auto-generate traditional text-based tutorials. It also serves as a repository for these materials, so it can kind of serve as a place to keep all your SOPs and to manage them, and also as an assessment platform for your employees. So there are tests that are built into the platform that you can use to assess your employees based on their, knowledge of the material covered and whether they're in a position to execute workflows in their day-to-day. So the first point I'm going to compare the two platforms on is output quality. So how good are the SOP documentations that they come out with? So we'll start with Guidde, and I'm just going to show you Guidde's kind of products page here, and you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what those videos look like. And really, I'm really impressed by this. I mean, as I was saying, it's just incredible how effective these are based on the level of input you have to put in. I mean, there's no video editing required really. There's no camera setup or mics really or any of that kind of thing. You are really getting a lovely polished product for the amount of effort you're putting in, and it does just look amazing, and it's really useful and a really engaging way to get employees set up in your systems and to get them using new tools and all that kind of thing, and it really does take a huge amount of the pain out of that process. With Whale then, again, I'm quite impressed by the quality of the product here, and with the amount of work it takes to get it done. It does a really good job of showing employees what they have to do and of streamlining that process in terms of, the work required on your end. I do just think Guidde wins here just because of the videos. I just think this isn't something Whale offers, and while its documented SOPs are of high quality and they'll get the job done, I just don't think, there's no beating the videos that Guidde offers in this context. I just think that they're so cutting edge, they're so easy to use, and there's such high engagement, I think, from the employees that use them. So while I do like what Whale is putting out and I think it's really effective, I do just think Guide wins quite easily in this category. So next we'll compare the two based on the automations they offer and how they leverage AI to provide their product. Now AI is really the core of Guide's offering. You know, it's taking a process that used to involve a huge amount of manual effort and just automating it all. And I think it does a really good job of this. As you can see here, AI-powered video documentation that revolutionizes your content creation process. That's exactly what's happening here. I mean, it's revolutionizing the job that companies used to have to do on making SOPs. You get one-click capture, so you know all you have to do is, as I said, click the browser extension and let it record your functions. And then you also have AI-generated descriptions, automated voice translations, smart editing. You know, all of these things are just done really easily, and the AI takes a huge amount of the burden off your hands, I suppose, when it comes to all these things. And when you use the tool too, you'll realize that they actually work in practice. It's not just marketing. The company does a really good job of taking all this work off your hands using AI. And it's one of the more impressive tools I've seen, I have to say, when it comes to the use of kind of LLMs to get stuff like this done. So I suppose Whale's focus in terms of automation has been a little bit different. Its content editor is not as robust as Guide's is. There's going to be more required of you in terms of the step-by-step of content creation, and on the editing side as well. I just don't think it's as refined as Guide. So essentially the automation is not going to save you as much time with Whale as it will with Guide. Now, on the training side of things, this is something obviously Whale is big into. The AI is really useful here. It does generate questions automatically and sends employees reminders about required trainings automatically and all that kind of thing. So on that side, it is really getting a lot of use out of AI. And also the AI assistant, as you can see down here, is called Alice, and it's really useful too. It does offer a lot of benefits in terms of using the platform and, you know, asking questions about the material. And that kind of chatbot function does offer a lot in terms of the training side of things. So ultimately, I think, you know, obviously Whale is a training platform as well as a process documentation platform, and I think it leverages AI really well in that context. But when it comes to content creation, the automation that you'll get from Guide is just on a different level, I think. So the next factor we're going to discuss is value for money and pricing. And this is an area in which I think Guide is really impressive. Because it kind of offers value for money at every level of pricing. Like, as you can see here, there's a free plan which is completely free. It says here just for getting started, but to be honest, if you're a small team or you're a solopreneur, this might work for you indefinitely. It'll give you up to 25 videos a month, and it'll give you a lot of the functionalities that you kind of need at a basic level to make SOP documents. And then even going above that, you're getting a lot of value for not a huge amount of investment at every level. So you have the Pro here, that's $18 a month, the Business tier, that's $39 a month. And once you get to the Pro tier, you're kind of getting most of the functionalities that you'll need to really do this properly. You'll get things like the ability to export without Guide watermarks. You'll get the ability to export to PDF or PDT. You'll get the ability to blur sensitive info in recordings. So these are a lot of the more useful features, and you're getting these at the first paid tier. Once you move up to the Business and Enterprise tiers, then you're getting more kind of cool functionalities. You're getting the ability to export PDFs directly to video. And you're also getting an advanced suite of tools when it comes to privacy and to analytics as well. So yeah, overall, I think Guide just delivers a huge amount of value for the prices it charges. And I think for most businesses, particularly businesses in the kind of small to medium bracket, I think it's a really affordable and really value driven tool. When it comes to Whale's pricing, I think this is an area in which it kind of falls down, to be honest. I don't think there's half as much value here for smaller teams as there is with Guide. As you can see here, there is a free tier, which is useful, but it's not as expansive as Guide's free tier. You only get 5 users included. And like, this is something I would draw attention to as well, is that user in this context means anyone who's going to actually be accessing the tutorials. With Guide, your pricing is based on creators, so you only have to pay for whoever's going to be actually making SOPs, and you can disseminate these then to your team without having to pay for each individual team member who's using the content. And this, as you can see, is not the case with Whale. Once you get past the free tier, then I mean, you're looking at a starting point of $99 per month and then going up to $299 per month once you get to the scale tier. And to be honest, a lot of the more useful features are actually locked behind this tier, so the scale tier, which starts at effectively $300 per month. So this really isn't that palatable, I don't think, for a lot of smaller teams. It represents quite a large investment, and unless you have a big enough team and the requirement for those training functionalities, I just don't think you're really getting the value you need to get at this price point. So next we're going to look at customer support, and this is something I really emphasize when it comes to emerging software tools, just because I think things can go wrong, and even if they don't go wrong, you do want to have that peace of mind that if something does go amiss, you want to be able to get it solved. I really like Guide's approach in this area. Generally speaking, you can reach an agent for a one-to-one call if something goes wrong, and you can sort that out pretty quickly. And that's pretty much the gold standard in this area, I would say. Like, there's a lot of companies out there nowadays using AI chatbots to deal with their customer support, and it can be frustrating, as you'll know if you've ever had to do it. So yeah, and even if you don't want to use a call, there's an email option and a live chat option. So I think Guide is really focused on, getting customer support done and done right. And I'm really enthusiastic about everything it's doing in this area. With Whale then, they do have a really effective ecosystem when it comes to live chat and email, and customer reviews do seem to indicate that they will be pretty responsive if any issues arise, and they will get stuff sorted quickly. However, there's no phone support here like you'll find with Guide. So for me, that's just kind of makes Guide the winner here. I just think the phone support is kind of the gold standard in this area. And it's, there are certain things for which you'll just need to speak to someone to explain the ins and outs of your problem. So for me, while Whale does a decent job here, I just think Guide is the winner. When it ultimately comes to choosing between these two, I think Guide is the clear winner. As I've said, in most categories, it is the winner. And I think overall, it's just doing a lot more with a lot less. I don't think there's any platform out there that can really rival the usefulness of its SOP videos, and it's coming in at a really good price point as well. And for all the value it's delivering, it's really not overcharging. Like, even from the free tier, you're getting quite a bit. So I think particularly for businesses in the small to medium bracket, I just think Guide is the absolute pack leader at this moment in time when it comes to SOP documentation. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.